Hi, everybody. I'm Anna Clint, and I am here with the incomparable April Gallagher. And this is Obstacle Illusion, episode 4. We are going to talk today about power and fear. We're doing fear?
We're doing fear.
Fear. So
Why
how
not?
we give away our power and how fear plays a big part of that. And woo-wee, there's some fear swirling around us these days. Hello, Corona.
Which doesn't that mean like crown or something? Or does it just mean beer?
Yeah, it means beer, and I'm not sure about crown, but the corona is what you see around a full solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. Which one? When you see the ring of the sun coming from behind when the sun is darkened by the moon, whatever that thing is called. And I think there's also a song about it, like my corona.
Oh, and that may be Sharona.
No, it's corona.
Oh, okay. That's what the beer company would have you believe.
That's right.
My corona.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fear, power. Where, like, what, I mean, powerlessness, like in the face of, this now, like WHO just said, whoa, it's a pandemic now. Big, scary, scary, big, big. Fear, fear, fear.
Fear, fear, fear.
This is just like the tip of the iceberg of fear. I mean, like, fear is basically like what we're kind of wired to swim in as humans, but I could just go on and on about that. But anyway.
Maybe do if it's useful. Yeah, I mean, I've actually been pretty removed this week from the news and everything. So I'm not currently swimming in it. I'm somewhat aware that it's happening, but I feel like if you have something to say, go for it.
Well, just actually that the way our brains are wired, like we're seeking fear out all the time because we want to see what the dangers are on the horizon, because that's how we stay alive. Like it's a biological response that is a life-saving, response to existential threats. But the problem is that fear response was from when, we were looking out for tigers. And now there are no tigers chasing us, but we have all of these other things, these replacement fears, like I didn't get social media likes, or the coronavirus, or politics, or you don't like your boss, or your friend betrayed you, or any of these things keep, stoking that fear fire within us, because we're just wired to seek it out, to see it. So we basically, are wired to live in fear, not wired to live in love, because it's a protective mechanism. Problem is, like, we are evolving, but the brain response is not quite keeping up with us.
Right. So we're evolving, and we're evolving to a state where the planet is now supporting our experience to be one of living in love, and the vibration of fear is actually no longer supported by like the planetary matrix. It's only being held into place by human consciousness. And that's an interesting, definitely an interesting transition, and an interesting way to go from a place, since we're talking about power, from a point where we came from, where it felt like we were powerless in the face of fear, right?
Yeah,
because
right.
Our bodies were wired a certain way. But what mystics have always known, and what science is catching up with, is that we actually can rewrite our wiring, rewire our wiring.
Yes, and maybe somewhat more gracefully than that. Yes, we can rewrite those programs. Absolutely.
And so,
absolutely.
How?
Oh, so great. Well, there's lots of ways. I mean, the first way, the novice way, that, which is really like what we're always encouraging people to do, is to start noticing. Start noticing like how your body feels in a certain situation, right? Because a fear response is like, I'm tense, tight, I'm like suddenly no longer hungry, and I'm always hungry. It's because I'm like afraid this thing is about to happen, or, and future casting or living in the past. That's all fear-based stuff, right? It's like sometimes we're living in the past and we're like, oh, that one trip that we took was so great. But usually it's because like we're trying to get out of like being present here now and like, remembering something good. But a lot of times, like I'll notice that I'm just rehashing crap I said to somebody or to myself or
Mm-hmm.
something I did or whatever. And that's not loving,
Mm-hmm.
not loving. So, but noticing like one, how your body is feeling, like that's your number one radar.
Mm-hmm.
And then noticing whatever the crazy town thoughts are going on in your head.
Mm-hmm. So
That's
you notice it, and
Mhm.
and then you kind of
So,
experience it,
yeah,
or
or
let
redirect it.
redirect it.
Lots of people talk about this. Joe Dispenza is one of them. It's like when you catch that thought, it's just a habit. It's
Right.
not who you are. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, you're not denying some part of yourself by redirecting it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, there's this interesting paradox between like acceptance and awareness, and then this idea of like redirecting, right? Because on one hand, we do want to just like practice this radical awareness, which leads to radical acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
accepting everything that is. And on the other hand, we have the brain capability to just actually redirect.
Right.
Like when that thought comes in, I can say stop. I
Right.
can
Energy flows where attention goes.
exactly, and
Yeah.
then you shift your thoughts in the direction you want them to go.
Right.
Like we are supercomputers up here. Like why not write the program the way you want it to go?
Right. And so back to the point of power, like that sounds pretty powerful, right? To know yourself as this, to
Yeah.
know that within yourself you have the ability to redirect your energy. And even though you're, I'm going to use the word fighting, even though I don't love that word, but like even though we're kind of fighting against this pattern, like brain pattern and behavior pattern, how about say even though we're coming up against it and it's pretty strong, like in comparison to what we have available to us, if we
Yeah.
start if we start opening up to it, if we start putting attention there, right, it's
Yeah.
it's a that like working against that chemistry is not as strong.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then there's also energy healing modalities
Mm-hmm.
for, rewriting the programs, the crappy programs that we inherited or
Yeah.
absorbed and, took on as fact that are just not fact, not fact
Right.
at all. Lies, in fact, they're big lies.
Nice, I tell ya.
But yeah, you can, reprogram that stuff. Like we
Yeah.
have all these modalities that,
Yeah.
you can use
Right.
that are available.
And
So
so currently there's this pandemic. Is that what you said?
apparently the World Health Organization, as of today, Wednesday, March 11th, said that it is a pandemic. Coronavirus is a pandemic, which really
Pandemic.
just means pan meaning like everywhere, like it's
Uh-huh.
all over the globe.
Right.
Pandemic. It's not saying, that everyone's going to die.
Right.
It's just saying that it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But there's so
And
much
so,
fear mongering going
right.
on.
And it's everywhere. I think in general, and this I'm kind of just making up as we go along here, but that, viruses and resonate at a certain frequency, right? And
Mhm.
it's a lower frequency than what we're capable of. It's certainly a lower frequency than love. And fear also resonates at a certain frequency, and it's a pretty low frequency. And so, and things like to live together, right? So
Mhm.
so
Like
if you
attracts
find
like.
yeah, so if you find yourself, watching the news and feeling fearful, like just recognize that then that puts like stress on your body and kind of lowers your vibe and puts you into the frequency of the viruses and
Yeah.
whatever. And going back to your redirection is just as you can, like be aware that like, oh wow, like what that person said like really caused me to go into fear.
Mhm.
Take a breath and
Change the channel.
change the channel, right?
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um Something presented this week that I thought was great, and and maybe I should bring this up sometime when we're talking about AFGOs, and they can bring it up again for AFGOs. So um you know we've talked about AFGOs as being another effing growth opportunity, right? And so
Mhm.
when things present in our lives, these obstacle illusions that seem like they're terrible, and there's no place to find gratitude or anything like that, that they're really just showing us where we have the opportunity for that, for growth. And as I was in a class on Monday night talking about it, I was trying to come up with kinder, gentler words than what the F stands for, and it came up with flipping, right? Another flipping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to flip
Yeah.
what the way you're looking at something. And so we
Totally.
can look at this pandemic as an opportunity for all of humanity, not just like some little subsets here and there, but all around the globe. We have the opportunity to remember how powerful we are and to use these tools that are our birthright, but that that up until recently we haven't decided that it was important enough to like
Right.
tune into that channel. And
Yep.
so it's really an incredible gift to be like, where do you stand? Are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna sit on the beach and drink Corona?
Drink the Corona Kool-Aid.
Are you gonna drink the Corona Kool-Aid or not, right? Or are you
Right.
gonna choose love? Are you
Right.
gonna choose to see what power you have within?
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Yep. So the takeaway is to notice when you're getting brought down to that lower vibration,
Mm-hmm.
and to decide if you want to be there or not. Free will, you can.
Mm-hmm.
But just know that your immune system is suffering when you're there.
And you're
then,
gonna die.
and yeah, well, eventually you will. But yeah, you have a choice to do it a different way.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Anna.
Thank you, April.
And
Catch you
thank you
soon.
guys for watching.
Yeah.